In 2020, when CD Projekt Red delayed Cyberpunk 2077, I think this was about the second time, by 21 days, they talked about the new release date was there to be able to help them focus on preparing and testing the game for 9 different versions. In fact, they listed them here: Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S and Series X, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, compatibility on the PS5, the PC, and Stadia. And they said that they were doing all this while trying to work from home. Now, yes, this was a challenge for them, but I feel like they could have been a lot more transparent and a lot more patient to get their game out to work for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, which they pretty much at the end of the day stopped support for these 2 consoles. Stadia disappeared, so that took one more thing off their plate. But here the thing is, the multiple SKU and multiple platform development is what developers have been doing for the longest time. And I remember just recently that the Xbox Series S was the biggest blight to gaming. I argued, as a PC gamer, somebody who, to be very honest, I couldn't be bothered with the Series S or X, that multiple SKUs is something that developers are used to, because on PC, even within that category, has many different devices. And yes, there are challenges to balance for all of them, but devs have always been doing it. And people said things on the PlayStation side like the Series S was holding gaming back. But now we know that competent developers are able to get their games running on there. This leads me to the story right now that CD Projekt Red has pretty much said that they currently have no plans for a PlayStation 5 Pro patch. Now, keep in mind this could change. I know somebody might say, you see, they're not going to do a patch. No, they just say we currently have no plans, and this is developer speak. We're busy. Talk to us later, because we done suffered through multiple SKUs from these gaming companies trying to beat one another with their new generation in quote consoles. And right now, I think PlayStation players welcome to the blessing and the curse of having multiple SKUs under your belt. Because for the longest time, you lorded it over everybody that, Xbox should have just made one unified console. Now that PSSSR and its implementation is in its early phases, it's having challenges. You're seeing, and I'm not saying it's the same thing as a Series S and X, but the challenges of actually developing across 2 SKUs within the same generation. Again, welcome to PC gaming's challenges. In fact, what's happened now is PlayStation has now continued to look more and more like Xbox. It's weird. It's like Xbox does something 4 years ahead, and then PlayStation comes right in, and they just, carefully walk in on red carpet to do the same thing that Xbox gets dragged, stoned, and spat on for. DogDog1985, shout out to him. He asked a question. It was a very interesting question, and I've told y'all, the best way to actually come to conclusions, especially truthful ones, is asking questions. He said, need a technical expert here. Is the performance power between the PS5 and PS5 Pro bigger than the performance power between the Series S and X? Now, those of you who know, Doc likes to, beat on Xbox and also beat on PlayStation fans, but you know where this is leading. This is what's called a leading question. There's no doubt that this question is bait, right? But I think the spirit of the question actually does point out right now that the multiple SKU hypothesis is a sound one for people who want to sell hardware. And, if Xbox did not make the Series S, they would have gone down the drain much faster than anybody could have actually perceived. But that small, underpowered little guy that is basically like Hercules that can carry almost, anything except Baldur's Gate 3's co-op or whatever it is, that particular console saved them a world of pain. And the reality of the matter is, I think this question has many layers to it. You can come with the financial side of saying, well, the $250, $280 price increase of the PS5 to the PS5 Pro, that's a whole different conversation, because that difference in performance is not, there for many of us to see. Some people say they see it, they pay the money, that's fine. You could also say now that PlayStation and their fans that are championing the PS5 Pro have basically now become the thing that they claim to criticize and hate for the longest time. And now developers themselves, seeing that there are multiple SKUs, are realizing that, if we don't have to worry about it, we're not going to do too much about it in that regard. We're going to basically create 2 different versions, or leave the same version running, or just work to our convenience. Because right now it's not really convenient for a lot of developers to basically go ahead and do multiple SKUs. Now I get it. One console manufacturer released both SKUs at the beginning of the generation. The other one, was much more tactful and kept one SKU. But it's still interesting to see the reactions with multiple SKUs from a lot of the fans who castigated multiple SKUs as a bad thing. And this is the beauty of our gaming scene. We have to always have these conversations because it really does inform us as to, how the gaming industry is moving, what exactly we as gamers should be doing when all of this starts to come into play. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to go ahead and refute the value proposition of the Series S. It really did help a lot of people get into next-gen gaming. Those people who didn't want to spend $500, they had a $300 option. It's just like people have said that the PlayStation 5 Pro is for people who have the money to spend, right? The Series X was for those people at the time. And so this is actually very interesting. And what's beautiful about it is in PC gaming, we also have something that is way more similar than this, actually. In every generation, you have multiple CPU and GPU SKUs that can range from all different kinds of budgets. So that's something that's been practiced for the longest time on PC gaming forever. I know everybody that you talk to on the console side, not everybody, but some people you talk to on the console side will say, well, you have to pay $2,000 for your PC. Not knowing that you can buy yourself a PC that's about $500, $400. You can buy components to build a PC very cheap. You can spend about $300 to build a very capable PC. Some people don't even know this. You can buy a GTX, 1070, 1650 build with one of those $60 CPUs. And if you want to just basically kind of, figure out what this thing is about, you can go in with like $200-$300 and build a PC that will play a lot of these games. Yes, low settings. Yes, maybe low frame rate. Some of them will get you 60. Some of your old favorite games, you'll be able to see them, play at 60 FPS, the ones that may be locked on consoles that nobody came back to update. You can tinker around with that kind of stuff to see if this is something you want to do. But this is what people have been doing for the longest time, and yet nobody believes that, you can buy a PC or build a PC under $2,000 because for some strange reason, it's taboo to go ahead and say it. But I'm so glad that, PlayStation is basically affirming everything that is good about gaming. And at the same time, helping their own audiences to realize that, hey, man, it's okay to have multiple SKUs in your console generation. It's okay to have cloud streaming. It's all right. And that's good, I guess. Thanks for watching the video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. This is quite interesting and amazing. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that these things are coming to light. Thanks once again for watching. Appreciate you guys so much. Peace out.